Welcome back to the Go M.A.D podcast. I am your host, Christopher. All right. So today, I want to share a personal story, something that happened to me. Last week, I've been testing out how to do like different things. I was trying to work on like every day doing something towards my passion, right? So I was pretty much, as I mentioned here before, like we're maximizing this time in the summer. We're maximizing like what we're doing now in this time. So I was investing, like trying my best every day, like out of the 24 hours, that at least the top 20% I'm investing in my passion, right? So so I was doing that, and last week was like a test to the max because I started incorporating like things to do like with recording. I was incorporating things, improving the podcast, and then I also wanted to improve other stuff, or like start doing other things like with my passion, like something else that I like to do, like with like gaming and stuff like that. And I gave it like a test run, and definitely I was busy the whole week. I was definitely getting stuff done the whole week, and it was quite a roller coaster of a week. And I noticed it was quite a lot. I did get a lot done, and I do feel, proud for that. And then my wife came over to me, and she told me that that I've been like working way too hard, doing way too much. And I was like, there's no such thing. Um, so then and then that caused me to kind of like sit down and realize, if I have someone really close to me that's feeling distant, feel like I'm doing too much, maybe I need to sit down and see, maybe I'm not doing too much. Maybe it's that I'm not prioritizing the right way. That's kind of what I told her. I felt like I wasn't working too hard. I felt like I wasn't working on the right things. So I decided then, on the day that I usually record, I decided to just not do anything at all. I decided to not record, or be on my phone. I decided to just be with my wife, just relax, just rest. And she was just telling me, how, talking with me, we were having a nice conversation. She was talking with me and telling me how, she was just feeling that like distant from me. And and I needed to hear that, because I needed for me to kind of like reset and really see, like where my priorities are, and really understand and ask myself. I had to ask myself, like, what's really the most important thing? Who are the most important people to me? And am I spending enough time with them? And that question led me to kind of like just like sit back, and I spent time with my wife. And then once I took out time with her, then later on the next day, was when I started to record and do stuff. I even did like that. I have like my own schedule, now, and I record and stuff. And I decided to just pause what I was doing. I was writing down the notes and everything for today, and I set up the equipment and everything. And it was still early. I could have recorded if I wanted to. And then I was like, you know what? No, I'm gonna end the night early, and I'm gonna just be with my wife. And I did that, and actually waking up today made me realize, how important it is to do that, and really to let myself see where my priorities are, and to focus on those priorities. And I thank my wife so much, because she helped me, stay accountable on that. She kept me accountable, because if I wasn't for her, if it was just me out there on my own, I would be going so hard in the paint with working and working and working, and forget about investing in other people, and asking for help for others to keep me accountable, which is such a huge, powerful thing. And that's what I wanted to talk with you guys today on how I learned that. And I wanted to just talk mostly about that accountability. I wanted to talk about how important it is to be held accountable, and to hold yourself accountable. So my goal is for us, at the end of today's lesson, is for us to understand how important it is for us to, as I said, to be held accountable and to hold ourselves accountable, so that we can be organized and really see that we're investing and spending time on the most important things and the most important people. So in our lives, like I said, I when I learned this, like from last week, I realized that you need three kinds of people in your life. You need the people that will pick you up. You need the people that will sit you down, and you need the people that will tell you when it's time to lay down. So, um, you need people that will pick you up. And the first question I want to ask you, just so that you can kind of get your mindset around the same way, if you feel like you've been working too much, maybe not even in your passion, which is even worse. If you're working in what you're doing, what you love, it's easy to get lost in working on that. So I can give you some wiggle room. But if you're just working on something that you don't even love to do, then you really gotta fix your priorities. So you have to ask yourself right now, who are the who are who are the three most important people to you right now? Who are the three closest people, and who are the ones closest to you right now? Once you answer that question, if you're thinking about it right now, think about those people. I want this next question I want to ask you, are you prioritizing time with them? Are you scheduling time with them? And think about that. Um and I had to sit down and ask myself this, and I was like, whoa, like I really need to work on myself. Which is why I wanted to share this with you, because it really like hit my heart and hit my soul. And that's why I want to share it with you guys. And then the next question that I want to ask you is, how can you make sure that you spend more time with them? And you might ask, like, why must I do this? And it's because you have to invest in others. And this isn't just based on like with your with not your podcast, but with your passion and investing in others, helping them grow, so on and so forth. That comes on later. We have to develop this kind of servant leadership. That's what it's one of my favorite terms, because it's what I devote myself to being. Servant leadership, learning that as a leader we eat last. We learn how to look for others, see how to serve others, how to move others, push them forward, how to really progress others, how to build the others. And then maybe one day they'll help us out, maybe they won't. It's not our mindset to kind of like wait on them to help us out back. It's just our hearts to want to help push them forward, and be the tool that helps them eat first. And that's like something that I learned personally, is how important it is to serve others. And this goes for like your friends, people that are close to you, your family, in your workplace as well. Learning how to serve others. And it's so important that we do that. That's when you invest in them, those are the one in the end that will invest again in you. And that's the like one of the most important things that I learned, that if I really want to find a team, if I really want to find people that will help me when I need it the most, then I need to be investing in these people before I even ask for anything. I think a popular quote that I heard before is, you need to lend a hand before you ask for one. And I try to keep that in my mind a lot. Before I try to ask somebody for something, I try to ask myself first, have I helped them? Have I taken out time with them first? Have I checked on them? Have I really served them before I'm asking them, to just help me out? Um, and I have to go through that process, because I have to make sure I serve them before I try to be served. Before I try to, get help, and without me giving any help. So you need those people that will pick you up. You need your encouragers, those that will lift you up, that will pick you up when you need it the most. The ones that's like your cheerleader, your hype man. I know for many people, I'm their hype man, and I'm glad to be that, because I love to encourage people to push forward, not just being super upbeat, more like like encouraging you, like building you up, cheering you up, and saying move forward, keep going. And you need people like that. You need to find those people in your life that encourage you, that help you grow, help you be better. And we've talked about this before, like with our surroundings. And the for today is just learning how to have that tunnel vision towards that encourager, towards that person that will pick you up, keeping them close, and schedule time with them. You also need those that will sit you down. And that's something that, it's tough for a lot of us. And I realized for me, in order for me to grow, I've got to do whatever is the hardest thing. I think I literally saw that quote. If I'm not mistaken, I think I saw it yesterday. I think I saw it yesterday on social media or something. That if you seek to do the hardest thing, or look for whatever is the hardest thing, because that's what's going to make you grow the most. Um, Obviously, if you evaluate yourself afterwards, so look to do the hardest thing. So, one of the hardest things that none of us like is to be put in our place, or for us to be told what to do. And that's why you have to be very careful with who you have in your corner, who you have that's going to help sit you down when you're needed, when you're doing things, and then you fall, and you're doing things that you think are good, but they're not the right thing. You need that person that will come and sharpen you and tell you, hey, this isn't the right thing. You said that you were going to do this, so you need to make sure you're sticking to it, and don't be doing this. You need people in those life. I have at least I can count on my hand the amount of people that I have in my life that help me do that. They probably don't even know that they are those people for me. Um and and I need people like that in my life, because if we think about it, it's good to have like that encourager, that person that will push you forward and be like, hey, come on, you can do this. And then you also need the person that will sharpen you, because that person might not always have the personality or character to be like, woohoo, yeah. No, but they're that person that will sit down with you, and mold you, and help you, like tell you, okay, bro, you gotta get serious. I was like, hey, you said you were gonna do this, you shouldn't be doing this, people are watching you, so on and so forth. And they do it, you can tell that they do it from a heart to help you improve yourself, from they're thinking about you to help you be better. And you need those kinds of people in your life to help shape you, shape who you are, and make sure you stay committed, stay consistent. Make sure you don't fall off track, or lose the values that you started with. You need that person. And I notice, like, I have one person in my life that's like that for me. And we will always argue back and forth. We will always go back and forth and argue. And every time we argue, every time we have like a little argument or so on and so forth, at the end of the conversation, I still think like I need this kind of person in my life. Whether I'm right in an argument or he ends up being right, whatever the case may be, at the end of the conversation, I always realize I need someone like this in my life, because it's good for me to have people that will give me the good words and stuff, and there's also times where I just need someone to just help correct me when I mess up, and help be there, like that person that I know will be there to correct me. And you need that person. You need that person that will be there to correct you, to help put you in your place, to sit you down, which might be tough sometimes. That's why you have to think right now, who's that person that can do that for you from a heart that loves and that wants to help you be better, because there's always those people that don't have that kind of character, personality, and they just do it just to be critics, and they just point things out, and they're easy to nitpick things about you. So it's very easy to find those people. So don't go towards those people. Go towards the one that wants to invest in you, that believes in you, that trust in you, and that when they speak or they try to correct you, that they're doing it out of love, and they're doing it to help you be better. So make sure you invest in that kind of person. And then you also need the kind of person that can tell you when it's time for you to lay down. And for me, that's how what I mentioned at the beginning today. That was my wife for me in the last week. She literally was the one that was telling me, hey, you're working too hard. You need to, relax. And she would say, I'm not spending enough time with her. And it's funny, because a lot of the times, like from our mind, especially men, I'll say this for me, maybe not all guys, I'll say this for me. A lot of the times we think, everything's going good, and then in reality, things aren't going so good. That's why we got to get out of our head and learn to talk with other people, talk with your inner circle, the people that you trust, and see what they think, see how things are going. And if they're not going well from what they're saying, then they're really not going well. And you got to work on asking yourself how you can improve on that. So, with my wife, if she was saying that she's not feeling like I'm, spending enough time, or if I'm not resting enough, then there must be something I'm not doing right. Even if I am working on my passion and I'm doing the right things, maybe I'm not balancing it the right way. And that's why I had to sit down, and she helped me, realize that, to like I need realize like I need to relax. I need to sit down, kind of reset, and see where am I putting everything. And you need that kind of person in your life. You need that person who will comfort you, who it's more of that person that's close to you. For us who are in relationships, very easy if we have our significant other. Um, Very easy there. For those that don't, you just need to find that person. That could be, like a family member. It could be someone, if you go to church, someone in your church. Again, always someone that you yourself, you see that person is trustworthy and that they grow themselves. And that's a person that you want to, have in your corner to help you grow, help you know when it's time to kind of like relax and chill. Like, hey, you worked hard enough. This is cool. You worked hard enough, so just chill a little bit. Just chill and have that person that can evaluate you. And I did that with my I do that with my wife every now and then, where if I feel like I'm not doing something right, or she tells me, then I ask, genuinely, like, how can I get better? How can I improve? Obviously, it's a hard question to answer, because sometimes our answer is just like, that should be pretty self-explanatory. And I need like actionable steps, because me knowing myself, maybe not everybody's the same as me. Me knowing myself, I know that if I just say, okay, I'm gonna get better, but I don't have a plan, I'm not going to get better. So that's why a lot of the times I like to ask, how can I get better? Or what can I do? That way I have, some action steps that I can focus on and put it into practice and start working on them and actually see myself growing and getting better. So I like to ask those questions, and it's good for you to have that person that comforts you, and that you can ask as well, like, how can I be better? What can I do to be better? I think those are one of the two most powerful questions over the last few weeks that I realized has helped me improve myself. How can I help, or how can I improve, and what can I do to get better, or what's something I can do to work on that, or to get better in that. One of the most powerful questions that I always ask myself when something comes up, when an obstacle comes up, when a barrier comes up, ask yourself that. How can you get better? How can you improve in this? Or what can you do to be better? What can you do? Because that's going to take you to give an answer that's an actionable step that you can actually sit down and say, okay, this is the answer. Now I'm going to work on it and see what happens, and evaluate yourself. And it's good for you to have those people that are close to you that help you stay on that. That's literally what I would talk about today: accountability. Learning how to have those people that will hold you accountable. And I have those people in my life, and I'm so grateful to have those people in my life. Um, my encourager, I have like different sources, because I have a specific set of people that are around me, and sometimes not everyone is always paying attention to me or helping me be better. So a lot of the times I usually just either listen to some like speeches, or listen to other podcasts, and I'll watch other videos to help me kind of get better. So I do that a lot. So I definitely have that person that can sit me down and sharpen me. I have that person that can comfort me, my wife. And all these people help keep me accountable in the sense that I have someone to answer to make sure that I'm going on the right path. Because alone, us as humans, human beings alone, we can't accomplish anything, or at least we won't be able to accomplish anything great. If you look at everyone who has accomplished something successfully, or you see someone that's such in that top 1%, you see that no matter what it is that they created, or they successfully did, they did it with someone, with people in their corner. They did it with those that helped them, those that were around them. And That's what's important. That's what you have. That's what you have to realize, that no matter how hard you try, or no matter what you think, you won't be able to accomplish anything on your own. You will need help. If you want to accomplish great things, you will need help. And I'll take a step further in that by mentioning one of the greatest influential leaders in my life, which is Jesus. And in the beginning of time, you see Jesus is going on this path and on this mission to do this great thing, something that will be remembered for thousands of years to this present day. I don't know if he knew that was gonna happen, but we're still talking about it to this very day. So for me, I think of that as being the most successful person to have ever walked this earth, because whether you believe or not, whether it's true or not, people are still talking about it today. Imagine if you created something today and it will be talked about for thousands of years from now. That's, like, for me, it's unfathomable. It's so crazy to think of that. So that's why I always try to I tend to go to Jesus. I tend to look and see, what did he do? What was his path? What did he say? What were his actions? To know, if we want to replicate the same thing, if we really want to have that magnitude of success and significance, we've got to follow those high people that have been remembered for so long. So even Jesus himself, when he was on his mission, you can read this in the Bible if you want. In the book of Matthew, you see that Jesus, he starts going on his own path. He starts off investing in himself. He fasts for 40 days. He gets baptized. He gets cleansed. He gets in the right mindset. And then he himself alone goes out and starts to share a word, to share positive news, to spread a gospel. He starts to preach, so on and so forth. After he gets practices into doing that, then he starts recruiting. He starts recruiting people, and he starts getting people to get close to him, to help him how to pass out and preach the word, and help pass out the word. And he starts to invest in them. And throughout the book, you'll see him investing in them, showing them lessons that will help them, showing them lessons that will help them be better. And then in the end, after a few chapters, he says, all right, your turn, time to go out, time to get going. And he sends them out. And now they're taking action themselves. So even he himself, one of the most remembered people of all time, even him, he needed people by him to help him get through, to get to the mission that he needed to complete. Because at the end of the day, we're all gonna die. You're gonna die, I'm gonna die. So if you think that you're gonna accomplish everything on your own with no help, then when you die, that's it, your story ends. And if you want it to be something impactful, then your story shouldn't end when you die. You should die, and then your story continues with those that you invested in. That's why it's so important that you think long term as a legacy, and you look at those people closest to you, even those that are younger than you, those that are older than you, those that are the same age as you. Invest in those people, work in them, serve them long term, so that worst case scenario, let's say you die today, your story can live on through them by the heart that you had in them, by the mindset of growth that you had in them to push them to be better. That is so important. One of the biggest foundational truths that I learned myself. So that's what so I'll ask those 3 questions again, so that you guys can leave with that. I want you to answer this question: who's your encourager? Question number 1: who's your encourager? Number 2: who's your sharpener? Who's that person that will sharpen you? And number 3: who is your comforter? Who's that person that will comfort you? Start thinking about those people right now. And now we're gonna work towards how we can keep those people in our lives, so that they can hold us accountable, so that we can be better. So when you answer those 3 questions, I want you to schedule time this week right now. Text them, call them, and say, hey, let's do something today. Let's do something this week. And schedule time with them. And schedule that right now. Like, stop listening to this. That's it. Podcast over. Schedule time with them, and take out that time with them, whether it's today. It's like, hey, let's do something today. Let's do something this week. And take out time with those people, and start to keep them close in your lives, and ask those questions. How can you be better? What can you do to be better? Learn from them and grow from them. So if this has impacted you guys in any kind of way, you can follow me on all social media where I'll be posting highlights and clips from our podcast. You're watching this probably on YouTube, so you can listen on all platforms as well, Spotify, Anchor. And you guys can also, in any way that anytime that you guys listen, you really do support the podcast. So I appreciate all of you guys for when you listen and you help me be better and help show me how to grow. So follow me on Instagram at Go M.A.D. You can follow my podcast page at Go M.A.D Official. And you can DM me for any questions you might have. I want to help you guys grow, and I want to serve you guys as well. So as we continue to invest in ourselves and grow ourselves to be the best and show others how to do the same, we can all go mad. I'll catch you guys in the next one.